Age-old debate. Kobe versus LeBron. LeBron versus Kobe. Now, throughout the years, this debate been lingering on. And the fact that there are a lot of people that still think Kobe's better than LeBron, and a lot of people that think LeBron's better than Kobe. But the over masses, the general public and the media, have had a way to dismiss Kobe Bryant a lot just to benefit LeBron James. So the question is LeBron James really better than Kobe Bryant? And does he really deserve to be ranked above Kobe Bryant? Let's get into it. This video is brought to you by Crony Sloppy Joes, the #1 brainwashing material for ESPN.
Need 'em extra sloppy for you. I know how you kids like 'em sloppy.
Lady, you're scaring us.
Okay, guys, Prince Sports here. Now, listen, when it pertains to being the GOAT, most people have Michael Jordan as their GOAT. I mean, that's just the facts, okay? He's been a guy that's a symbol of excellence for GOAT. You know, he is the greatest of all time. And he's the guy that you have to surpass to be the GOAT. But let's move off that for a little bit and talk about #2. Because this is when it gets interesting. Now, instead of trying to debate LeBron against Jordan, because that's a failure waiting to happen, let's talk about rest of the ratings. Because when you get a lot of other people's top 5 or top 10, there are some people out there that got LeBron James dead at #2 or dead at #3. And that number could be growing a little bit more, you know? So, and there's some people that believe he's a lock for the second greatest basketball player of all time. Then I asked myself, hold up. How did he just leapfrog past Kobe Bryant and Tim Duncan? Then when I sit back and think about it a little bit, is he really better than Kobe Bryant? I mean, let's just keep it a buck and keep it 100 here, okay? I was just like some of you guys, okay? I mean, we all human, and we all have times where, you know, you could probably be busy. You're going to college, or you're going to, you know, you're working, or you have kids. You know, life interferes, right? And you don't have time to do some of your favorite hobbies all the time. And me, your boy, have a confession to make. And that confession is, I was once brainwashed by the media. The same people that you tried to put some of your trust in, because, you know, you don't have full time to be talking about sports all the time. Even if you know a lot about it, you can't dig deep into it and break the game down, because you're not there to watch every single game, you know? That's their job. They get paid to do it. So when you get older and you have more free time on your hands, that's when you can start doing research. And voila, that's me. More free time on my hand, more time to do research. So when I look at this whole Kobe situation, there's some suspect moments, some suspect things that LeBron's stats can't account for. And you know what that is? That's basically a couple of things. So let me start off with #1. The whole LeBron's team beat Kobe team more times. Yes, that's a fact. That is true. But then when you dig deep and look into it, like I did, most of those wins that LeBron got over Kobe was when Kobe was on the latter end of his career, and LeBron James had, dig this, a big 3 super team. So he needed to jump Kobe Bryant with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh to beat Kobe Bryant. And even then, Kobe Bryant was still giving LeBron James the business. So then you fast forward, he's on the Cleveland Cavaliers big 3. So of course they're normally going to win against a Kobe team that's pretty much shot in the mud. I mean, you know, they're pretty much dead. You know, he's just riding the wave to retirement. So then I said, you know what? Let's do before the big 3 nonsense. And then if you look before the big 3 nonsense, that is when Kobe shines. And that's when he's kicking LeBron's ass. And that's when it starts to come a little bit more clear.
Then Kobe, then LeBron.
So you guys both say still to this day, Kobe over LeBron. Tell me why, because that's a huge discussion. And a lot of people have put LeBron past Kobe at this point in his career. Why do you still have Kobe?
And just who are those people? Are they the general public and the masses? Is LeBron the people's champ? Or is it the media and stat geek analytic people? I'm saying it's option number 2. Because I think the people's champ really is Kobe Bryant, and you can make a case LeBron is the most least respected superstar of all time. But nevertheless, let's get back to it. How, you ask? Well, that brings me to my second point, okay? My second suspect moment. And that's those later years when LeBron hit his prime and he was the hottest thing in the league at the point, right? When he truly hit his peak. And the whole world said it's LeBron's league. He's going to take over. Well, guess what? The guy wins back-to-back MVPs. And one of those seasons, he managed to win 66 games, 4 games to 70. Okay? Now, so he was close to winning 70 games of one of those seasons. So after all this hype that he was going to go to the finals to beat Kobe Bryant, because Kobe Bryant was the guy that the NBA was pushing away, you know. They were saying, you know what, it's LeBron's time. So not only did LeBron fail to get to the finals, but when he lost, all you guys did, especially the media, was make excuses for him losing. You know, they say he lost because of Delonte West. Come on, man. That got nothing to do with what going on.
He's just tough. He's just a tough cat. But if you want to have fun like I did with Bill Walton, you play with LeBron.
Really?
It'd been probably more fun to play with LeBron. But if you want to win and win and win, it's Kobe.
There's no hesitation.
No, Kobe don't lose to nobody one-on-one.
Have you ever played him one-on-one? How did the game go?
In his favor.
Who do you think? You guys pick one.
I will go with Kobe.
You go with Kobe? He's a former teammate. What do you think?
Yeah, but I LeBron is an unbelievable talent, and Kobe is as well. But that would be a good game. But I think I will go with Kobe. Yeah.
LeBron James or Kobe Bryant?
I say Kobe.
Just on the basketball court. That's cap and that's a lie. All right? Why not just say the Boston Celtics were a better team, even though they were non-favorites to beat the Cavaliers? Cavaliers were favorites to beat the Boston Celtics. They were title contenders. I remember it like it was yesterday. That was the team that everybody said was going to win the championship. All right? Nobody had the Lakers winning the championship, you know. And, well, at least people in L.A., you know, pairs like that. All right? And then it's come down to number 3. All right? So not only will LeBron fail to get to the finals, before I say this, Kobe would have beaten him both of those times, because those are times when he was choking and couldn't breathe and coming up short, okay? He just disappeared when moments got really tough for him. That wasn't Kobe. Kobe was made for moments like that. So that brings me to number 3. All right? Number 3 is the simple fact that both of these guys get respect from people, but at the same time, don't you notice this, that the players and the general public like Kobe Bryant more?
I don't know if that's good or bad.
But I agree with your question. LeBron putting the conversation out there allows the media and the fans to allow him to leapfrog Kobe and Tim Duncan and eliminate the conversation because he's putting himself next to MJ.
Did you hear what Jalen Rose said? He said LeBron James put the narrative out there to the media and the fans so he could get leapfrogged past other NBA greats. If that's not sounding like brainwashing, I don't know what is. You mean to tell me a guy could be a all-time great passing people without even earning it first? Then they like LeBron James? So I asked myself, who's the ones really liking LeBron James? It's the media. And the fans that he have, they're controlled by the media. Okay? They're those ones that still probably busy doing life things, and all they can hear about is LeBron James, like LeBron James this, LeBron James that. They probably not even really watching basketball. They're just going by what they see on ESPN because it's LeBron James. So how is it ironic that the players in the league pick Kobe Bryant and the general public pick Kobe Bryant? So that means Kobe Bryant is the people's champ. And in order to be considered better than somebody, you got to at least win over the people. And LeBron James has failed to win over the people, really, against Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. You know, you can't name yourself the GOAT. We have to elect you to being the GOAT. And I think that's when LeBron falls short in that. So then I ask myself, comes down to the fourth conclusion. You could do this. Just look at both of these guys play, Kobe and LeBron, skill for skill, and tell me who really looks like the better basketball player. It's actually Kobe. Offense, Kobe. Defense, Kobe. You don't say LeBron is the better defender, because he's not. Kobe was willing to defend and guard the best player on the opposite team. From T-Mac to Allen Iverson, LeBron don't do that.
And at a location where, you know, Kobe went through a period where people didn't want to play with him. Mm-hmm. People didn't want to, and he still found a way to impose his will on the situation. He didn't leave Los Angeles. He stayed there through the good and the bad, and he was able to weather the storm. So,
I think I take Kobe just a little bit more because of the end of the floor. We know every night Kobe guarded the best wing guy every night.
And that's not the case certainly this year, in the past couple of years for LeBron James. We've seen the footage.
And not only does LeBron not do that, he actually runs away from the challenge. Kobe Bryant don't run away from no spoke. This is the same kid that thought he was better than Michael Jordan at age 18 years old. He wanted all the spoke. He said in practice that he was going to kick Michael Jordan's ass. But Phil Jackson was telling him, hey, won't you come over here and learn something from Mike? You know? So a lot of people don't realize that. You know, Mike and Kobe had a little feud, especially back in those younger days. I mean, it's well presented. If you look into the videos and see the things Michael Jordan was saying about Kobe, they weren't nice things. Not like he's saying about him today. So that's my conclusion on, did LeBron James really surpass Kobe Bryant? I want you to tell me, do you think LeBron James is really better than Kobe Bryant? Just sit back and think about it. You know, watch both of them play. And if you're just going to give it the simple eye test, Kobe wins that. And then you just go by their head-to-head matchups. Kobe Bryant, as an old man, was cooking LeBron James on his last game as a Los Angeles Laker while LeBron was on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Do the math. Look it up yourself. Now it's time for my final verdict. If you asked me this question a couple years ago, I might have said LeBron James, mainly because he had a lot more potential and more upside than Kobe Bryant, who had a lot of media jocks on him. And the media was saying things about him that I thought just wasn't true when it pertains to Kobe being the GOAT. So LeBron James was untouched. He was clean, so to speak. But then all of a sudden, in the drop of a dime, something happened. Something changed. Not one, not two, not three happened. And that's when LeBron James' legacy and career went downhill. He went from a guy having the most potential to surpassing Michael Jordan and leading his team, Cleveland, to a championship, the hard way, so to speak, to Big Three super team creator, to lead GM, to a guy that controls his roster and trades away players, a guy that has media cronies working for him and making excuses for him every time he loses. So you did get the notion that LeBron James became somewhat of a media puppet. And as he became a media puppet, things started to change even more for the worse. He became a guy more fascinated with stats than actually winning. He became a guy that lost passion to collect championships and individual accolades that actually matter. The only thing that came for LeBron James was stats, and that was something that he put first before winning. And I can't believe I didn't see this earlier on in his career when he said things or had the impression that, hey, that all he cares about is stats, when you wear a shirt that says check my stats out, that's a reflection of you, okay? Whatever you wear is a reflection of you. How you walk, how you talk is something that you want the world to know that, hey, this is how I am. And LeBron James has always been a stat stuffer, truth be told. If you want to have fun, dance on the basketball court, then LeBron James is your guy. But if you value winning championships, LeBron James won't be that guy, so to speak, for you. Now to Kobe Bryant. When it comes to sacrifice, Kobe Bryant sacrificed half of his career just to win championships. He could have easily did what LeBron James did. Stat pad, get more points, but never have no championships. And in the grand scheme of things, what is more important in basketball than winning an NBA championship? And not only did he win championships, but he did it in such an oppressive fashion because this guy played in the Western Conference for over 20 years, dealing with some of the best competition. And you can make a case individually, Kobe Bryant faced some of the best competition more than any superstar in NBA history. You can make an argument for that. And the fact that this guy was about hard work, dedication, his skill set, being the best basketball player on the offensive end and the defensive end. Only thing he cared about was winning. And he often proved that to you constantly. So when I look at these guys and I think about them prime for prime, who would I rather draft? It's the guy that wants to win. We may not get along, we may not be friends, but I'm not in the business to make friends. I want to win a championship. And Kobe Bryant is my guy that I pick. Prince Sports out. Peace.